What's going on, guys? Philosopher here with another character breakdown. Definitely a beginner breakdown. Gotta say this ahead of time that this is a breakdown for people who are still new to Injustice, still new to fighting games. Maybe Sub-Zero has brought you over to playing Injustice 2 and you really want to play him, but don't know Injustice that well. I'm going to try to keep it as basic as possible. Today I'll be going over primarily his normals, his combo strings, a little bit of movement, the bare bones of what makes this character work, and trying to find a way to implement that into a plan of some sort. I am also a beginner when it comes to this game, so I won't know too much. So for people who are still new to the game, this is going to be a guide for you. For those who are familiar with the game and know how to pick it up really fast, can like pick up a character in like 2 seconds, not the guide for you. So that said, Sub-Zero has come out. He's been out for a little bit now. I've had a chance to play with him a little bit. Not as much as I'd like to. It's been a busy couple of weeks. So finally getting a chance, a few minutes. It's going to be around about a half an hour, 20 minutes. Try to break him down and get to it. So let's get right into what we want to do here. And I've been learning and breaking down these characters in different ways. So I take notes. That's how I learn. The first thing I want to say is, however you learn, and you actually, if you want to get good, not the GITGUD, the actually get better at the game philosophy, not just beating your friends, but actually trying to understand how the game works, how to understand how characters work, even if you're just trying to figure out how this character works so that you can beat them. Learn how you learn. For me, I learn very tediously. I have to break down every small little thing that I can see, understand it, memorize it. A lot of times I take notes, a lot of times I talk about it. That's why I'm trying to do all this at once. I'm trying to talk about it and then document it. So this is very much for me as it is for you guys as well. So you'll hear me clickety clacking away on my notes because I'm going to be taking these notes live. It's a lot more tangible. I'm going to get a lot more out of it. And then I will post the notes in the description below if you guys are not watching this live. If you're watching this post stream, even better for you guys. If you guys are looking for something like this, if you is looking for English, then this is not the place for that. But if you are looking to learn and looking to talk and have a conversation, this is the place to be. Hit that subscribe button so that you can get updates whenever I do different kinds of videos. I do a lot of interviews. I'm trying to get more. Now that Evo's over, I'm trying to get Richard Thayer, a few other people as well down the pipeline. I'm trying to get Born Free on here. Hopefully I can do that. No guarantees on that just yet, so we'll see. But nonetheless, I've got my notes open. Let's start with the basic attacks. And the way I'm going to do this, and this is going to be the same with my combo attacks when we get to that as well, is I'm going to go with the notation. And just in case you guys don't know for whatever reason, you have the light, medium, and heavy, but it's basically 1, 2, 3. So 1 would be the light attack, which is your square if you're playing on a PS4, X if you're playing on a Xbox. Ooh, that's hard to translate it into my head. So 2 is medium, is triangle, and then 3 would be X. It's kind of weird if you think about it, because circle you think would be 3, but it's not. Everything gets thrown off because of X. But it makes sense gameplay wise, and then you have the trait button over there. So I'm keeping it default, just so you know. Anywho, let's get to this. So we've got 3 moves that begin with 1. We have the standing 1, which is a high. We have the back 1, which is a low. Excellent. And then we have a mid, which is his crouching, his down 1. I've got them all highlighted. I got them all highlighted here. Press triangle to highlight them. I'm going to isolate only the 1 buttons and make it simple. And I talk about this a lot, but there's something called chunking. And so if you guys have a terrible memory like I do, you want to look for shortcuts on how to memorize. So you want to try to associate certain buttons with certain moves, certain combos as quickly as possible. So we've got 3 moves here. We got the backhand right there. It's a little quick pimp slap worth my money right there. He doesn't move, doesn't do anything. The character doesn't even really move back any, which is really interesting now that I'm thinking about it. But okay, we have that move. It's a high. So thing about highs is people can crouch. You can crouch a high. So you want to be wary of that. You want to make sure to use it at the farthest range. Look at that. On my screen, his face isn't even hitting the fist. His fist isn't hitting the face, but it still hits. So be aware of that. Like if you look at the two Sub-Zeros, my hand is holding his hand a little bit. They're getting a little intimate, and that's the range that you'd want to be. Probably no closer than that, because if you whiff, they can punish the hell out of you. So keep that in mind. It is a high, very fast. 7 frames, probably one of his fastest moves next to his down one. Nope. Yep. Fastest move. Fastest move, and it has less recovery, but it is a high, so keep that in mind. So this move and this move come out at the same speed. So both good punishing moves if you know when to use them. I am not the master punishing just yet. That's something I hope to cover in a later video, because I don't understand the punishing in this game. Moving on. We've got the back one. That's a good low. It is advancing a little bit, so you can see I'm a good distance back, and it hits him right there. Boom, it's a low. So that's a quick and easy low. And then we have this right here. So we have 3 1 buttons to start off with. 3 starting ones, which means that potentially, because traditionally in this game so far, from what I've noticed, the crouching ones don't really combo into anything ever. They don't have an actual... What the hell is that? Did I just... What? Okay, I gotta... We'll get to that later. I don't know what that was. I didn't read my gear, so apparently I have a snowman. All right. Anywho, so yeah. So basically, there's only 2 moves that start with 1. So keep that in mind. Is this right here? I know for sure 1-1-1. That's a combo, and we'll go into that later on. And then back one, 2 lows. Back 1-1. Back 1-1-3. No. Back 1-1. So I was trying to figure it out, but I can't figure it out. I'll look at the combo later on. So, yeah. So, back one. So, low and a high. Low and a high. Keep that in mind as we move on. So, let's go ahead and move on to the 2s. And we got 4. Boop, 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 boop. So, we have a mid, high, and a mid. And decent frame data right there. Back one is pretty good. It is a high. Straight chop, it's a 10. Brutal kick, something to keep in mind about that is it is plus on block, so that's useful to remember, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But let's take a look at these. So we got straight chop, boom, that's a mid. Looks like a low, but it's not. We have quick step, which is an advancing. I like his backdash. Yeah. So it's an advancing. And I want to say it's also advantage. Was that back? It's safe on block. So you're back to neutral. So if they don't have advantage and you don't have advantage, so if you're facing a character, because I believe 6 frame attacks are the fastest. There's a few characters that have that, but if you're facing another Sub-Zero, you have 2 moves that you could do potentially. I would probably do the straight chop, and then cancel that into like a special or something like that. Like I think you can do something like that if you want to get away. It's something I just came up with off the cusp of my head, cusp of my brain, whatever. So that's actually something that I don't want to get too much into the specials right now. We won't break those down, but we know that you press the trade button, number 4. It usually creates a clone of him. For whatever reason, mine's a snowman, but we'll ignore that for right now. But what's kind of cool is you can cancel into any of his moves, just like any other special move. So, say you want some time to collect your thoughts or get back to like a neutral. Boom. And so you have straight for this whole area in front of you. And you could throw it, or you could do something like that, or you could even anti-air, which that's a really good one, which brings me to my next point, is this right here. This is one of his good anti-airs, and I've seen some videos, and you can see where that ice kind of disappears. That's a pretty big hitbox. So if you're fighting a Batman, I think this might be a decent anti-air. Let me look at how fast it comes out. 11. That's not too bad. I think Atrocitus is like 13 or something. I could be wrong, but his is really slow compared to how fast this seems to come out. So that's not too bad. You might be able to... Let's see if I can set this up real quick. Let's see if I can set this up real quick. Oh, goodness me, oh my. No. That is not what I want. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if I can record here. Can I... Oh, whoops, gotta go to AI options, excuse me. There we go, record. Alright. Now I need to go back to AI options, go to playback, and you should... Okay. So let's see what this hitbox looks like here. Okay, so over the top of his head, yes. Look at that! Oh, what? Okay, so that might require a little bit more timing. That's not doable. Maybe. Hold on here. No, it looks like right there is the sweet spot. So like directly overhead, if they don't, yeah, if they don't do their jump in properly, right there, that's too close. And I think Batman has a different jump arc, so I would recommend getting Batman and jumping in here and testing that out. But okay, let's see what we can do from this. So alrighty, we're doing normals. Can't do that. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what else we can do here. Ooh, that was interesting. Did you see that? Okay, let's try it again. So you can't anti-air and then trait. That's really interesting. Let's see. No. I might be able to. So okay, you can do an anti-air. Come on, bro. Now you have to take a quick step forward. I don't know if you can see it, but anti-airing, doing a quick step forward and then doing that, and then okay, let's see here. All right, so. Nope. What's the slide? Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's see if I can put this all together here. Nope. So, and this kind of gets into a topic that I want to talk about. And not get too far into this because I'll try to do a second video. I want to keep this base. But I do want to talk about this so that you keep this in mind. When you're playing this game, you really don't want to overcomplicate things. There's a lot to learn, and just like me, I know a lot of you guys are eager to learn the cooler stuff, the high damage combos, you know, all the stuff that looks cool and does a lot of damage. And that makes sense, but if you don't build a strong foundation, and if you have a martial arts background, if you learn anything traditionally and been taught, you know, music theory, whatever, you start with the structure. You start with the quote-unquote boring stuff first, and there's a reason for that. And even in fighting games, you know, it's really easy to learn a combo, but if you don't know the basics of the game, and even if you do understand the basics, if you don't know how to properly apply them, then all the high damage combos are a moot point. Unless you're just a combo artist and you want to go into training and just do cool combos, and that's your cup of tea, that's not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the people who want to get good, the people who want to improve themselves, but aren't taking the time to really understand the bare basics. And that's why I'm doing this beginner breakdown. That's why I'm talking about this. So that said, you want to start with the anti-air, you know, with particular what I'm talking about right here. You want to start with that. Okay, so we know that's a good anti-air. We understand the range of where it works. Okay, now that we know that, what can we do from there? Okay, now that I know that I can do 1-1-1, what can I do from that, if at all anything? And so you kind of want to figure that out. And I don't want to get too much into that. I can probably do a video separate on anti-airing. That actually sounds kind of appealing to me because I need to take my own advice. So that said, you want to keep it simple. Keep it super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Get the anti-air down first. Understand that. Know that you can do it from both sides of the screen. A good piece of literature that I really recommend for people trying to get good at fighting games, which is very odd because it's for a Street Fighter game, but read Joe Monday's Geef's Gym, you know, like Zangief, Geef's Gym, because that book is very well done. It's made specifically for Street Fighter, but I still think even if you're not a Street Fighter player, there's a lot of good content that you can get from that. So I really recommend that book for people who are trying to get better and build a strong foundation when it comes to fighting games. That said, moving on, we have this move right here, which I absolutely love. It is his brutal kick. It is a high, which is kind of a bummer for me, but it's kind of fast. And it has really good range, so it's a really good get in button. I don't know. Okay, and look at that. It's a high after that. So, I love this. Okay, so I'm trying not to gush too much. So, back to what I was saying about one. You want to try to chunk. Chunking is a concept that helps you memorize information a lot faster. A guy named Josh Waitzkin talks about this in a book called The Art of Learning. I talked about this in a few of my different shows, FGC philosophy shows, where you basically are trying to simplify information. If you look at chess champions or martial artists or anybody at any high level of skill, they chunk down their information so that they have to think less. There's less brain power going on. Almost had a stroke there trying to think of what to say. But there's less thinking going on. And the reason I'm talking about that is because you can basically, in order to remember the combos, in order to memorize the combos a lot quicker, you want to try to chunk down the information. So we already went over the one we already went over one. There's basically that and this. There's nothing else. There's back one and one, which seems to come out really slow. It's a really slow looking move. Anyway, but like I said before, down one, the down moves usually don't have a combo function. Like even Black Canary, I think hers is back one, back three, or back one, back two. It looks like a crouching move, but it's really not. It's a back move, but it's a sweep. It's two low moves back to back, and they both look like sweeps. But both of those moves separated together, both lows, they combo into each other, but they're not down. It's not a down input. So that said, my point is that there's only 3 moves that potentially could combo. Back one, or back two, and forward 2. So those are the 3 that you need to keep into your mind for the combo starters. And let's take a quick look at some of the frame data while we're at it. So we know that standing 1, the chop, that's a mid. We want to look at some information here. So forward, quick step, the forward 2 is safe on block. These are all cancelable. All the moves I've gone over so far are all cancelable. So really easy to keep in mind. The brutal kick, that'd be the sliding one. That move is +3 on block, and I don't want to get too much into frame data right now. I've talked about it in a few other videos, but basically just subtract 3 on block from any removes. So basically if I did the same move again, it'd be a 6 frame startup instead of a 3 frame startup, making it the fastest move in my arsenal potentially if I take away any of the 7 frame moves. And it's also an advancing move, so if they block it, I kind of have a chance to do it again. Let me quickly test this out. Block mode, always reversal option on polar puncture. Let me do random. Okay. So look at that. He did something. I guarantee, unless he has a snap. Unless he has an invincible move. It's funny. And you can kind of test this out and figure out. That is still really Killer Frost. Okay, whatever. Moving on. So you can kind of test this out. And if you look at my inputs, I'm kind of double tapping the second one. Oh shit! That's armored. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. Okay, so quick thing I want to point out, and this depends on your style of learning. This is something I'm going to notate real quick. So let me go to my reversal options, and not to tangent too far, and I'm sorry. Reversal option on. Let's go to his moves list. Special moves, Deep Freeze. Okay, so it's Deep Freeze is his move. And I'm going to pull my notes up real quick. And notes. Boom. Alright, so something that I found interesting. So did you see that? So I want to try this out with other characters because I don't understand what happened there. I want to look at this real quick. Because it looks like it just ignored the armor. So in this instance, what I want to do, I want to put a pin in that. So I'm going to write a note to myself to research this. So I'm going to put in my notes, research, and then I'm going to put, it looks like Sub-Zero's super brakes armor, question mark? Try this out with other characters to figure out what this is about. Period. So now, I put a pin in that. I have that in my notes, so when I go back to it, I can look at that and be like, oh, yeah, that was something that I wanted to look into. Now, I know to look into that. And I can move back to what I was doing, which is looking at all these moves. And so, as I was saying before, you kind of get the point. I did a little bit of research there and a little bit of testing. And so, this move right here is kind of interesting. Because, even if I block it, like, it's... How do I talk about this? Let me look at something real quick to see if I can actually talk about this with this character. Does he have an overhead? I don't know if he has... So I feel like it doesn't really apply to this. No? Let me see something here. Oh, it's so hard to do. Oh my god, his command grab is so hard to do. Okay, so this goes back to testing out some things, and just I'm still on back 2. I'm still testing out back 2 stuff here, so you can see how just focusing on basic stuff, I'm still experimenting and learning this character. I'm still learning his basic moves here. So let's go to block always. Oh, stop that. Oh my god, it's so hard. Okay, so I'm trying to do his command grab here. Let me make it easier on myself so I don't have to do as much thinking. So, boom, and then boom. This is his command grab. This is what it looks like. So I'm trying to do that. So it looks like I can't. Alright, so I guess I can't. Oh my god. So that kind of negates that, and you can see that that doesn't work, and that eliminates that from my thought process.
Victory is not possible.
Actually... So, okay, so here's something, and it's very situational. But say you were doing this move right here a lot. This is back to 3. So that right there, say you were conditioning them, and conditioning is basically you doing something over and over again. So now, in order to block it, they have to block low. So let's get into this a little bit. And again, I'm sorry, I'm getting somewhat off topic, but it's still very relevant. So let's go to block duck. Let's see if that works. Okay, so let's say they were blocking both of these and they're blocking low. They keep blocking low. You know, they're getting it. They know that you're doing this move. You know, you're trying to do into that right there. You're doing lows all day. And he doesn't have too many overheads. And he doesn't have any overheads that you can cancel into, except, as far as I'm aware of, except for his forward 3. So, let's say you've been doing this right here a lot, for whatever reason. And this is any character. You can apply this to any character. Just listen to the concept and try to think about it. And I encourage you to think about what you can do, because I'm not super creative, but you guys may very well be creative. So try it out. So anyhow, so let's say you're doing this right here, bam, 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 all day. They got you figured out. So you're like, okay, people keep blocking my low, or maybe you're playing a friend and they know that you're doing it. Time to add something new because they're blocking it. And this game is very creative with what you can do. And if you have 2 bars of meter, look at your meter. This is me encouraging you to check out your meter because it's really important. All of your meters are a resource, so you need to understand that. That said, you do this. But now you realize, oh, I've got 2 bars of meter, or even 3 bars of meter. You can do and cancel. And the way that's done, in case you don't know, you do your combo, and you can either do down forward, and I kind of do the quarter circle motion because it's kind of easier to do it, or you can do forward forward. and then right bumper. You don't have to plus 3. There's no 3 meter burn. It's just do the combo, forward or down forward meter burn. And they kind of gave you the option, I guess, to make it simpler. And again, this is slow, but you are armored. So even if you're just doing this, I believe. Let me not lie to you. Let me not lie to you guys here. Stand. Let me just do always. Let me do always, and then reversal slide. Yeah, so you're armored. So even if they try to cancel that move, which they shouldn't do because you're plus 3 on block, so that's kind of an indicator that they don't even know, or maybe you're just doing something and you're not taking advantage of your turn. You can see, and then you don't have to do it right now, but you can go into doing a combo of some sort. And that could be a whole bunch of things, but you see where I'm going with this. Very, very useful. And again, I'm sorry I'm dwelling on just the normals right now, but you see how you can get a lot of information from just learning the basic attacks and what they can do and what you can do with them. And I'm kind of speeding through this, to be honest with you. I'm also talking so that it kind of balances out. But I hope you understand and see why I'm going through this in such great detail. It's also for myself. I'm really talking to myself, but I also want to talk to anybody who's willing to learn, and it's a very meticulous learner, a person who sits there and really likes to break everything apart, but also at the same time it feels like a chore. So even though you learn in a very meticulous way, it also feels very meticulous and very monotonous, and it can be very deterring, and it kind of gets into the whole instant gratification thing that we kind of all go through, and that's understandable. You just want to hop on the ranked and bop some people and watch your number go up and get some wins, and it feels kind of cool. But at a certain point, you're going to hit a wall. And if you don't do this kind of stuff, even if it's not your main character, if you don't do this, I guarantee you're going to hit some walls. You're going to see people blow past you, and then that number on rank just becomes like this chore where you're just playing online and it doesn't become fun anymore. So in order to breathe new life into your playstyle, into your repertoire, into how you beat people, into how you think, because your mind actually changes as you learn new skills and apply them to each other, and they combine. I learned this in martial arts. I've learned this in fitness, and I definitely learned this in fighting games as well, even though it's very sparse. That said, the last button is X, and this is pretty much always going to be the same concept. There's always going to be a back, forward, a down. Ooh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break that down. So you got the trip. I'm pretty sure it's a hard knockdown. It's a low. Nothing too fancy about it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be unsafe on block. -8. Yeah, so it's a move. I feel like there's nothing I can talk about too much with that versus any other character. It's basically you want to use it wisely. It isn't cancelable traditionally. It's a 9-frame startup, so it's not super slow. Something to keep in mind. Ooh, that's actually really nice. Ooh, boy. Hey. All right, so in case you guys can't read frame data too well, something I want to point out is his forward 3 is +8. I'll get back to that in just a second, but that's, ooh, man, that's phenomenal. -7 on his 3, or on his 3. So nothing too fancy. It's a 10-frame startup. It's a mid, so it's nothing too great on its own. I'm sure it kind of cancels into something. Okay, so it's a mid. I'm sure it's cancelable. Okay. You got the back 3. That's going to be your universal knockback move, your wall bounce move. And I think this guy actually, oh, that's so cool. Oh my goodness. I'm not that great at the game, so it's kind of cool being able to do stuff like that. Quick tip that I'll throw out there for if you want to learn this, you know, I don't want to deprive you of information. I recommend you not like spend too much time on this just yet, but a tip for you guys to score the double jump. I actually just hold diagonal up and forward. As soon as I let go of back 3, excuse me, as soon as I let go of back 3, And you shouldn't be charging this unless you plan on faking them out for whatever reason. Second pro tip is you don't need to hold back. You just need to hold back X. So you can let go. You know, your left thumb needs to be able to do whatever it needs to do as quickly as possible. So make sure you're aware of when you need to press or hold down something and when you don't need to, because you can be getting ready for the optimum position to do the next position. So you can be, as soon as you let go, while you're charging, I'm already holding up. Like, look at my inputs. So let's see if I can do this here. See, I'm already doing it. So I don't want to let go of up forward until that second jump comes out, and then I get ready for the next thing, because I don't really need to. If I'm playing Atrocitus, I actually press back X in the air and then forward 3, because that minimizes the amount of inputs that I want to do. That said, yeah, so little side note here. Something you want to learn, it's pretty simple, but let me move on. If you have any questions or need to figure out how to do that, leave a comment down below, and I'll either make a video or something like that in the future, or just leave a comment explaining how to do it a little bit better. So anywho, we have Lin Kuei charge, looks like a Hadouken. I like it. What if I can do with 2 of these? Oh, I can. I don't know why I would, but actually I think I can do unclashable damage, but it looks like, oh, there it goes. I think those are unclashable, so that might be something if you want to get some quick damage in to finish them off, or to finish the health bar without them clashing. I think you can do that. Don't quote me on that. Anywho, the move that I want to get to, this right here. Great move. It's his overhead. It's cancelable. So you could do some pretty cool stuff with it. It's also +8 on block. So look at this. This turns your forward 3 turns that into a 1. A 1. It's a high. And he doesn't have too many advancing strings. And I want to kind of go back real quick. Let me see here. Something I want to mention. Is you want to look for advancing strings, and he doesn't really have too many of those. That's an advancing string. It's kind of slow, but let me look at this. Quick step, +12. What's 12 minus 8? 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. No, 4. 4. So it turns into a 4-frame attack. It's neutral on block, and let me look here. Let's look for something. I want to look for something specific here. So this kind of gives you. So basically, if they block this, you get a free mix-up. It almost looks like, because you subtract 8 from most of these moves. Let me see here. 14. So it's 4. Another 4 at 6. So something I want to talk about here. This is his slowest normal, besides his back 3, forward 3 stuff. We're not going to get into those. Those don't really count. So his slowest normal is 14 on startup. So that means it takes 14 frames to attack. And you keep that in mind. And what's 14 minus 8? So that's 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 6 frames. This move right here is 6 frames. Unless I'm doing my math wrong, which I'm pretty sure I'm not. So you could, and again, I'm still on normals here, and that's why this is a very bare basic breakdown, but I'm still on normals. You could potentially do this right here, and you get that for free. They can't do anything about it unless it's armored or some sort of invincible startup, I believe. I don't think there's much they could do. You get that. Let's test it out. Let's try this out. Reversal. Random. So boom. Ah, you son of a bitch. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, so that won't come out. So, oh, did you see that? So, okay, so now we found one. We found one that worked. So, now it's a matter of, did I execute it wrong? Or, ice clone, ice clone, ice clone. That still gets me. So, okay, so I executed it wrong. So now... Whoops. Oh, you jerk. Hey, chill out. Let me see something here. Aha! Okay, so... Alright, so let's say that, you know, this is my bread and butter right here. I go to that. But for whatever reason, he figures it out and he starts doing the ice clone. Okay, well, either my execution's not good enough, which until I can get it to be good enough, how about I find another alternative? And now, keep in mind, I'm doing the slowest move here, and it's still, for majority of his moves, working. Except for the ice clone, maybe backdash. Let's take a quick look at that. Let's look at his dash backwards. Okay, so, well, you know what? I can't seem to get through his backdash. He does that, and then maybe he punishes my slow move or whatever. Okay, well, that's not working. What can I do? Okay. That could work. That... Interesting. Ooh. Okay, so... There's a few different things, there's a few different ways that this can go, and you can see already, this is like a flowchart that's happening here, and you're building it off the basics, so it's not super complicated. You're not building this crazy flowchart based off this combo setup, which I recommend you do, but if you can't do the basics, then you're going to have a really hard time understanding and utilizing the more intricate flowcharts that a lot of more skilled players do. So I recommend starting simple. And so, okay, here's a flowchart. You know, you're doing simple things based on what the character's doing, and it's really, really easy from, as you can see, because you're just doing simple stuff. So, boom, he's backdashing, and something really quick that I can say is that I'm backdashing, and then you can see. Look at my backdash and look at my inputs. I'm going to try to just keep on mashing out until my move actually finally comes out. So I know that if I hit him, he's got to go wild before he can do a move. So I can chase him down. Whoops. I can chase him down with the rest of my combo. Oh, I appreciate that. That's an interesting name. Pink Blissed Squeaky Clean Blessed. Ms. Pink Blessed, Squeaky Clean Blessed. Wow, I can't say that right now. I just got off of work and my mouth has been, I've been talking all day. So, forgive me for saying your name wrong. That said, I appreciate the like. Thank you very much. I am very appreciative of that. Hopefully something I'm saying here is helping you out. But, back to what I was saying. You can try to cheat if I can get this execution to come out here. So, I'm pretty sure that move's not going to come out, so I could do something like that. Or, let me see something here. Let me see here. Okay. That isn't combo. Interesting. Well, now I know that isn't combo. That's cool. So that has some really good range to it, by the way. So keep that in mind. Anywho, I don't want to dwell too much on this, but you can see how you can start to really develop a game plan for specific characters or just in general, keeping in mind armor burning moves and invincible moves and stuff like that. Just based off of that. So really, really strong move. You don't want to get too predictable with it, but it has a great range. I'm sure it has a lot of other properties. Like, I'm wondering if it can anti-air, to be honest with you. It's really slow, so that is a thing. Also, he is an agility type, so he can't throw stuff, which is kind of a bummer for me. I'm used to playing the strong characters that can just, like, hurl stuff across the screen. I will miss that, but, yeah, so that's a really strong move. And so, I took a long time just talking about the normals. And I'm going to try to briefly talk about the the combos here. And again, I'm kind of leaning towards making a second video because this has been very lengthy as it is, and I've been trying to be more thorough with breaking these moves down. And again, I can't stress enough, depending on how you learn, take notes. It's really worth it. Real quick, I do want to just have you look at each of the moves. This right here, is it this one? I think that's his cross up. No, actually, it looks like. Okay, so he has 2 cross ups. I'm not the best cross up person, so I would recommend looking up a video for that until I can master that myself. I don't feel confident in my ability to give you advice on cross ups, but it looks like his jump 3 is a cross up. And then this one, I don't know. It doesn't look like a good air to air. This looks like a great air to air. That one's decent, but this one right here will probably be where it's at. But yeah. I'm trying to think what else. Whoop. I'm not super happy with his range. I don't think that comes out any faster. Let me look at the frame data. So a lot of this game is looking at understanding some of the hold on. A lot of this game is understanding some of the numbers, you could say, the frames, and understanding how you can manipulate that. So let me see here. I'm kind of learning. That doesn't work. Okay. What can I do? What can I do? And you can see, I'm kind of figuring this out in real time for you guys. I think there's something very powerful about actually learning with somebody rather than like just informing them. I think that's very, very important too. Don't get me wrong. That's a great. Oh, okay. So there you go. I didn't turn competitive mode on. I'm stupid for not doing that. So don't look at the damage. But I think I'll make a second video talking about the combos because this has already been very lengthy. I want to make sure you guys can digest this and apply it before I get into the next video. I'll probably do that a lot quicker than I will with some of the other characters. I have not had a lot of time, and I've been going through a lot of personal stuff, so I haven't had the opportunity to really sit down and break down characters like I've been wanting to. So this has been a great opportunity, and I've learned a lot. And I want to review this and learn some more. Next time, I'm going to figure out why I have a snowman instead of my clone. I actually really like that, and I wonder if I can do that in competitive mode. Oh my god. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for sitting down and watching this. I really, really hope this has been helpful for you guys. I will do more of these videos because I actually enjoy making them. I hope to make them of better quality, and I don't really have much in my notes right now because I didn't really get to the combos. That's usually when I start to write my notes. But if you have any requests, I will gladly take down some notes and put what I have in the description. I do Evernote, so as I update it, you should be able to see it if you refresh it or check, like if you save the link or whatever. It's a really great app, and I highly recommend it. There should be a link to Geese Gym once I upload this and revise everything, add the thumbnail and stuff. So again, I want to thank you guys for sitting down and watching this. If you have any questions, please leave that down in the subscription box. Wow, the description, damn, 2 times. Let's try this a 3rd time. In the comments down below, let me know. Also, if you have any advice for me, again, I'm learning. I am an open book. If you have any critiques from me or any requests, let me know. I don't mind. I will help you guys because it'll help me learn as well. Other than that, if you look forward to these videos and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. I also do some podcast format videos where I sit down and talk to people like Joe Monday, like Hollywood Sleep, Richard Thayer. I have a second interview coming up, so I've got all those where I sit down and I talk to them and ask them questions that they don't normally get to talk about, you know, the struggles that they go through and all that kind of stuff. So if you like that as well, hit the subscribe button. You'll get notifications. Definitely hit that bell button so that you know whenever I upload or I'm live streaming if you want to come and hang out with me. So that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep moving forward.